Once we can determine the domain and range and if a given relation is a function, we also want to be able to put it in proper notation and evaluate the function. If I have something like y equals 3 over x plus 2, and I want to put this in functional notation, there are two steps to follow. We're going to solve for y, and secondly, we will replace y with what we call f of x. It just means a function with respect to x. If you notice in this example, y equals 3 over x plus 2, y has already been solved for, and so we can simply put in the fancy notation for y and say that f of x is equal to 3 over x plus 2. Once it's in this notation, we can then evaluate. So for example, if I want to know the value of the function when x is -3, then I say I want to know f of -3. And all that means is I'm going to take the function, and wherever I see an x, I'm going to put what's in parentheses. So this would become 3 over -3 plus 2, which is -1 plus 2, or 1. My x value is -3, and my y value is 1, because remember, f of x is simply y. Let's do a second example of this. Consider the equation 7x plus 3 equals 2y minus 1. If I want to put that in functional notation, I have to solve for y. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I have 7x plus 4 equals 2y. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 2, which gives me y is equal to 7 halves x plus 2. I've solved for y, so now I can write this in functional notation, and f of x is 7 halves x plus 2. Again, if I want to evaluate the function now, and I want to determine f of -3, wherever I see an x, I'm going to put a -3. This gives me -21 halves plus 2, which results in -17 halves. I can then write that as an ordered pair of -3, -17 halves. One place students often get confused if they're asked to evaluate a function such as f of x equals 3x squared minus 2, but instead of giving a number, you're asked to evaluate it, say, for f of a. Again, the key is whatever's in parentheses, you're going to substitute in for x. So this would become 3a squared minus 2, or we would just say f of x is 3a squared minus 2. If you were asked to evaluate f of x plus h for this function, again, wherever we see an x, we're going to put what's in parentheses. So this would become f of x plus h would equal 3 times x plus h squared minus 2. And then when we FOIL, we get 3 times x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 2, or 3x squared plus 6xh plus 3h squared minus 2 is our value of f of x plus h.